Hello?
Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This time I'm meant to be dressed up as Balloon Boy from Five Nights at Freddy's. Ever since I did my marionette makeup, which I'll flash on screen somewhere here, I've been getting a flood of requests for a Balloon Boy makeup, so I thought I'd do it for you guys. I'll flash the first few names of the first few people that requested this makeup on the screen now. Obviously I can't shout out everyone's names because there were just so many and that would just take forever to shout everyone's names out. And the very, very, very first person that requested it was right here. So thank you so much for requesting it, but thank you everyone that requested it. And yeah, so if you'd like to learn how to recreate this makeup, stay tuned. Right, so let's get things started. So I'm going to start off by blocking out both my eyebrows and make sure to block them out quite heavily because I'm going to be applying latex over the top of them. It's perfectly safe as long as you've got an extra layer of spirit gum after you've applied the wax. And I'm also going to be popping on a latex ball cap. So I'll pop links here and here, as I always do, to the two tutorials where I teach you guys in the past to do both those things, just so I don't have to show you guys doing it in this video to make things go a bit quicker. Yeah, make sure when you pop your ball cap on that you go over your ears as well because we don't want ears to be sticking out on this particular look. There we are. Then I'm going to take some liquid latex and a sponge and I'm going to go over my eyebrows, just over my forehead slightly, around the edge of my ball cap and just over my nose, stopping at this area here. So I'm not going to put any on my mouth for now. So I'm going to do that for about 4 coats. Then I can take some regular tissue paper, which I've already separated, so I've got thinner strips. I'm working with tiny, tiny amounts, not much bigger than that really. I'm going to take some more latex, go over the area that I want, which in this case is going to be my forehead. I'm just going to push that over the latex, press it down, and then go once over it again with the latex. Now the idea for this is to build up for about 3 layers, not really to make much of a shape, but just more to round the features and make things look a bit more cartoony, plus it will really help hide the eyebrows. So I'm going to do that on both sides of my eyebrows for, as I said, 3 coats each. Then, whilst that's drying, I'm going to move on to the masking tape. So I'm going to work in only smallish strips, but the idea is that I'm going to block out my nose, but not underneath, because I've not applied any latex here. This whole area of my mouth here isn't going to have any latex on it at all. So the idea is I'm going to have some tape going in vertical stripes, going down over my nose. Because there's no latex on my lip, the masking tape won't adhere to it. So that means I'll be able to breathe underneath this area here. Also I'll have obviously my mouth, but it does make it easier to talk if you can breathe through your nose as well. So this is going to be about 4 layers across and maybe 4 layers down, but I'll just show you what I mean. So I'm just going to go across my nose and stick it down to the latex and do the same again on the opposite side. There we are. So after enough layers it starts looking like this. Don't worry about the texture because we're going to smooth that out next. But you can see underneath, so I've got a completely free area so I can breathe out my nose, and that way when I talk I don't sound nasally. Yeah. Then I can take some more liquid latex and a sponge and I'm going to go over this entire area for about 3 more coats, just to really seal in the masking tape. Then, after enough layers, I'm going to take some more tissue and I'm going to do exactly the same that I did on the brow, except this time it's going to be about 4 to 5 coats. So I'm just going to go over the middle part of my nose, just making sure I can get it as smooth as possible as it goes towards the end, making sure each layer is dry before I add another layer. When you get to the edges, maybe add about 2 layers or maybe 1 layer, just so it starts tapering off slowly into the skin. Then, whilst that's drying, I'm going to take some cotton wool, which I'm just going to separate so it's a little bit thinner so it's easier to work with. The idea then is to apply some liquid latex to the apples of my cheeks and then stick the tissue down, apply some more latex over the top of that and build that for about 4 layers, just so I can have some nice rounded cheeks that I can colour red afterwards. They're going to be at just the corners of the mouth when it goes up, so try and make them a little bit lower than your own natural cheeks. Okay, and before that's completely dry, I'm going to do exactly the same again, just going along my jawline for about 3 layers of the cotton wool just to build up the chin area, because I really want the middle part of the mouth to look a lot more sunken in. Okie dokie, then I'm just going to start lifting up the bottom of this mouthpiece here, where the jaw is, and be very, very, very careful with this step. I'm just going to start trimming away the mouth just to make it a little bit more, well, mouth shaped. Yeah, so then before I start my foundation or anything like that, I'm just going to work on the mouth because that's the easiest part, I think, to start off with, and it will kind of set the illusion for the rest of the face. So as I've got quite a bit of depth now in the mouth, it's going to make the teeth pop a lot better, so I'm not going to paint the teeth on. Instead, I've got some really strong white card and I've cut some little squares, like little teeths. I've cut 8 of them because there's meant to be 5 on the top and 3 on the bottom. And the idea is that I'm going to stick them with spirit gum right underneath the lip I've made here where my nose is, and exactly the same underneath. But just before I do that, I'm going to take some M.A.C Chroma Cake black watercolour and I'm just going to paint the inside area of this fake mouth and over my lips. So then, as I said, I can take my fake teeth and space them evenly out, put a tiny bit of spirit gum on the top half and then stick it underneath the lip and on the bottom as well. So remember, 5 on top, 3 on the bottom. I kind of just want to leave it like that because that looks so adorable with just one baby tooth, but no, I must persevere. So there we go, some nice cartoony looking teeth. Yeah. Then I'm going to take a Collection 2000 eyeliner pencil. It's just a Kohl pencil, so it's easily wiped away if you make a mistake. And I'm just going to start tracing on the shape that I want for around the eyes and the hat and hair shape. Okay, so just super rough, but you get the idea of where everything's going to be painted. So then I'm going to take a Snazaroo watercolour, this is in peach, and I'm going to use that to colour in the skin area. So not my neck, I'm just going to colour in around all these lines that I've drawn. Then I'm going to take a M.A.C red Chroma Cake watercolour and I'm going to colour in the round cheeks. Then I'm just going to take a bit more of the black watercolour and I'm just going to define the corners of the mouth a bit more so they're a bit more pointy. Then taking a Snazaroo dark brown watercolour, I'm going to use that to paint on my nose and the sides of my, what's going to be my hair. Then, the super fun part, I'm going to work on the hat. So I'm going to use a combination of high def cyan and the bright red M.A.C Chroma Cake colours. And the pattern goes blue, then red and blue repeated. So make them little triangles getting smaller and smaller to get to the middle of the head. Slight change of plan, I've gone with a darker blue in the end. I'm using a Marine Ultra M.A.C Chroma Cake just because it shows up better on the camera. Then, whilst that's drying, I'm still going to neaten it up and add some highlights and shading and all that jazz, but whilst it's drying I'm going to talk to you about my little adornment that I've made. I made this little pinwheel, which I've just literally got like a glue stick and then cut the end off and cut some fans out and glued them to the top of it and then put a polystyrene ball on the bottom, so it's nothing special, but yeah, it does the trick. So I'm just going to use some spirit gum and I'm going to glue that right to the centre of where all of these triangles meet. Okay, so then I'm going to take a white M.A.C Chroma Cake watercolour and I'm going to go down the middle of each of these triangles, except for this one here is going to be 2 points. Because the idea then is to just blend them out left and right, just so it acts as a highlight in the middle. Then I can take a M.A.C black paint stick and I'm going to use that to go along the edge of the hat, just defining it, and I'm going to brush it downwards ever so slightly, maybe even ½ a centimetre, just so it tapers off and makes kind of like a shadow, just so it looks more like it's a three-dimensional object. Then onto the eyes, so I'm going to take the white M.A.C Chroma Cake colour and I'm just going to colour in the eye shape. Then again I'm going to take the M.A.C black paint stick and I'm just going to trace around the eye shape. And I'm also going to blend the colour inwards towards the centre, not only about again another centimetre or so, but the eyes need to look like they're sunken in. And I'm also going to do exactly the same thing with the same cream around the triangle nose. I've just changed my design ever so slightly. I've ended up making an eyelid, so all I did there was take the black cream, make a quick eyelid shape. It doesn't go past my own natural eyelid. And I took the brown Snazaroo watercolour which I used for the hair, but I mixed that in with a tiny bit of the white watercolour just to make it a little bit of a lighter shade, and then I just coloured that in. Then I'm just going to time lapse through the rest of this because I'm going to be painting my chest to match my head. So I'm going to be using the dark blue and the red watercolours to do stripes either side of my body. I'm also going to be colouring in the sides of my neck in the black watercolour and just leaving the middle half of my neck with the peach watercolour just to make it look a bit more cartoony. Okie dokie, so I ended up changing my neck plan in the end because I like it looking like a silhouette, so I've just painted it all black and blended it down into the colours on my chest. The button is a really crude button, I'm so sorry. I decided just to make a button and stick it to me because why not? So I'm just going to neaten up a few little details, pop in some contacts, and I do believe I'm done. And there we are, that's my makeup complete. So I finished the look off by popping in 2 Scalera contact lenses, which I do believe are called Thanos, and those are from ScaleraXL.com. I'll pop the link in the description bar below. The only other thing you could really use is a balloon. Yay! And of course a sign that says balloons. Yay! So yeah, that's my Balloon Boy makeup tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, please make sure to, you know, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe, and if you could share this video as well, that would super help me out. And yeah, so until next time, bye guys!